what is on premises, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So right. So basically with on premises, which we also in short called as on prem, which we can also refer as a data center environment, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
organizations they were creating their own data centers.
Yeah.
Now, creating a data center, it's not an easy job. It involves huge amount of dollars, right? They have to first buy a building or take the building on lease, or buy a floor or take the floor on lease, right? Then they have to
Mm-hmm.
procure hardware, networking components, server, disks, right, etc., etc., power, setup, cooling, backup,
Yeah.
electricity, and so on, right? And then they have to hire a skill set of people who would be able to manage that facility 24 into 7. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, creating a data center, it's not an easy job. It involves huge amount of money, dollars, planning, execution, and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
With data centers, organizations are definitely getting some benefits. Organizations have some limitations as well. See, first
Mm-hmm.
benefit is they are getting complete control, hardware level control, software level control, OS level control, all sort of control the organization is getting.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we can get maximum security out of the data center environment.
Yeah.
But we have some limitations too. See, limitation could be, let's say, the limit of our data center is we can host, let's say, up to 1000 virtual machines in a data center.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say right now some projects are ongoing. So let's say, and we have deployed 600 VM, let's say, for the ongoing projects. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there were some projects in the pipeline, and let's say those projects got approved. And to handle those projects, we need to deploy 500 more virtual machines. So maybe we can say for the upcoming projects.
Mm-hmm.
So, would we be able to deploy these 500 more virtual machines? The answer is no. Reason the
Mm-hmm.
limit is we have got the maximum limit of 1000 VMs. Now, can we expand the data center? We can certainly do data center expansion, but we would not
Mm-hmm.
be able to expand data center overnight. In
Yeah.
order to expand data center, again, we need to get maybe one more floor. Maybe we need to get one more building. Again, we have to procure some hardware, set up cooling,
Mm-hmm.
power, electricity, and so on. So basically, we can certainly do data center expansion, but data center expansion cannot be done overnight. That's not possible,
Yeah.
right? Now, this is one limitation. One more
Mm-hmm.
limitation could be, let's say I have an organization. Let's say my organization name is ABC,
Mm-hmm.
and my organization has set up a data center. Let's say somewhere in India. Let's say somewhere in India there is a city called as Bangalore. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
here they have set up a data center. I have a client. Let's say my client name is Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
My client says we have got some users, and these users are based out in India. And for its India based users, my clients want me to develop an application. Let's say they want me to develop a pizza selling application. So,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, my development team will be writing the application code. They will be building the
Mm-hmm.
application code, right? Compiling the
Yeah.
application code. And then maybe in the infrastructure, they will deploy the application. So, where I can create my infrastructure, let's say I create my VM here. Maybe here I deploy the application. This application will
Mm-hmm.
have a code. And let's say this application has a database too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything is good so far.
Yeah.
Anytime the users will try to access the application, easily they would be able to access the application. Reason, the users are based out in India. The application
Mm-hmm.
is hosted somewhere in India, in Bangalore. So
Okay.
latency would be low and performance would be good. My client says, I am impressed with your services and I would like to give you more business. So my client says, I have got some users. This time they are based out in US. And
Mm-hmm.
for its US based users, they want me to develop a second application. Let's say this time they want me to develop an e-commerce website. So would I be
Mm-hmm.
able to do it? Yes, I can certainly do it. I can certainly create one more machine. I can deploy
Mm-hmm.
application. This will have a different code and then it can have a database. I can
Mm-hmm.
certainly do this, but this is not a good design. Reason, every time the
Yeah.
US based users will try to access the application, the request will come from US to India and will go back from India to US. So
Yeah.
basically, it is not a good design, right?
Mhm.
So since the client is important and we are anticipating more business from US, so my organization decided that they would like to deploy one more data center, let's say this time in US. Let's say
Mhm.
somewhere in New York, we are deploying DC2. Maybe here we can deploy VM2 and here we can deploy application 2, which will have a DB2. So now again, it's a good design. So US
Mhm.
based users easily would be able to access the application. Latency would be low and performance will be good.
Mhm.
But let's say after 6 months, we are getting some business in Australia. Or let's say after 10 months or after a year, we are getting some business in Middle East or in Europe. So is it
Mhm.
possible that we can deploy data centers every now and then? See, it is not possible. So
Mhm.
every now and then we would not be able to deploy the data centers, right?
Yeah.
So that is the reason some big organizations like Microsoft, Amazon,
Mhm.
Google, they came up with a concept of public cloud. So these organizations are basically public cloud providers. So
Mhm.
these are the major players in the market. There are other public cloud provider too. Oracle has their cloud, IBM has their cloud, SAP has their cloud, right? But these are the
Mhm.
major public cloud providers. In this
Okay.
course, we will be focusing on Microsoft Cloud, that is Azure.
Mhm.
So what these public cloud providers have done, these organizations, they have deployed data centers across the globe. Everywhere they have deployed data centers, right? So they
Mhm.
have deployed data centers in US, Canada, Germany, Europe, Middle East, India, China, Japan, Australia, everywhere they have deployed data centers, right? And as the name suggests, it is open to all. A big
Yeah.
enterprise can use it, a small organization can use it, a single
Mhm.
person can use it, a group of people can use it. So it's open to all, right? So
Okay.
basically, we have three types of cloud environment. We have something called as public cloud, we have something called as private cloud, and
Mhm.
let's say we have something called as hybrid cloud, right? So
Mhm.
these are three types of cloud environment that we have.
Mhm.
Now in public cloud, this Microsoft is providing us a public cloud. So what they are providing us in public cloud, Microsoft is offering us more than 100 plus services, and these
Okay.
100 plus services are open to all, right?
Mhm.
For example, I would like to create a virtual machine, so there is a service
Mhm.
called as virtual machine. Using that, I can create VMs. If I want to create networks, there is a service called as virtual network. If I
Mhm.
want to use firewall, there is a service called as Azure firewall.
Mhm.
If I want to use DDoS protection, there is a service called as DDoS protection. If I want to create web applications, so basically it is providing us 100 plus services, and these
Okay.
100 plus services are open to all. Second, we have something called as private cloud. Let's say there is an organization called as Dell. Let's
Mhm.
say Dell would like to offer similar services, but they only want to offer those services to the employees of their organization. They don't want to offer the
Okay.
services to everyone on this planet. They only want
Mhm.
to offer the services to the employees of Dell. So what they
Mhm.
can do, Dell can convert their private cloud environment, or you can say Dell can convert their data center environment into a private cloud environment, right? So they can turn their data center into a private cloud. See, earlier what was happening? Let's say we are working in a project and we need to create a machine, maybe for a project where we need to host the application. So
Mhm.
very earlier, we were contacting the IT team that okay, this is the configuration we need for the machine where we want to host the application. But we can avoid all these things with the help of private cloud. So if we can convert the data center into a private cloud environment, Dell would be able to provide the portal to their employees. Let's say Dell
Yeah.
privatecloud.com. So anyone can go to that URL, they can log in using their Dell credentials, and they would be able to create VMs, VNets, firewall, etc., etc., whatever is required for their project.
So Microsoft has nothing to do with it.
Microsoft can help us in order to build this as well.
Yeah, but hardware is on Dell everything, right? So it's Dell data center located somewhere. Microsoft has nothing to do with hardware.
Now there are dual options. If in case Dell would request Microsoft to even provide the hardware, they can do it.
Okay.
Both options
Okay.
are
So
open.
basically, yeah. So Dell is buying from Microsoft, like a small chunk of Microsoft Azure. and then sell it further down and maintain it
Yeah, see, there are two
for
things.
them.
One Dell can say, I have got my own hardware. Please help me set up the private cloud environment. Second is Dell says, I don't want to do anything. I am giving this to
Mhm.
you. You manage it completely. So Microsoft doesn't do it on its own. Microsoft will engage a partner in between. Microsoft says, see,
Mhm.
I am not going to do it directly. So this is the person XYZ. They are going to buy the hardware, procure the hardware. They are going to do everything. And then they are going to help you in setting up the private cloud as well. Directly,
Okay.
Microsoft doesn't get engaged. Right? Microsoft get engaged only, let's say, with Fortune 100 clients or Fortune 200 clients or Fortune 500 clients. Just an example.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
Right. And third is we have something called as hybrid cloud. So where we are using both the cloud environment together, where we are using public cloud along with the private cloud for any
Mhm.
solution, that is something we can refer as a hybrid cloud. For example, when we are deploying an application, let's say we have deployed the application in public cloud and database is running in private cloud, or could be
Mhm.
vice versa. Application is running in private cloud and database is running in public cloud. So that could be a hybrid environment. Right?
Okay.
All right. Any questions, any queries so far?
No, no, we are good.
All right. I have some questions for you. See, my first question is, if in case we are looking for the maximum security, so which cloud do you feel can help us with maximum security?
See, it depends. Physical, private, logical. It depends like how you configure it, right? Some people want physical security as well as cloud security. It depends. As per me, it depends on the size and what we want. Like my company doesn't want cloud much, so they are into hybrid mode, right? So it depends.
Right. So basically, like a lot of time people say we can do it with the help of this private cloud. Reason in private cloud we are getting all sort of access. In public cloud we are not getting the access at a hardware level.
Yeah.
At a hardware level we are unable to get the access, but yeah, in private cloud we are getting that access as well. So basically, we say that we can achieve maximum security with the help of private cloud.
Hmm.
What about maximum compliance? If in case we are looking for the maximum compliance, which cloud do you feel can help us with maximum compliance?
Compliance means like all the servers patch, upgrade, and everything.
See, compliance could be anything. What you mentioned also comes under compliance. One compliance could be, let's say, I'm saying if we have 100 machines, we want all the 100 machines to be encrypted by a BitLocker. That could be one compliance.
Then the cloud.
One more compliance could be, let's say if we are working with the UK government, let's say on their federal government project, their compliance
Hmm.
could be whenever we are storing data, data should not be stored outside UK. That
Yeah.
could be one
So
compliance.
yeah, then public cloud will come because we can move data as per the countries.
Okay. So basically, see, it says hybrid would be the right option, right?
Okay.
Hybrid would be the, see, how do we achieve compliance? We achieve compliance with the help of policies, right?
Hmm.
Let's say if I am driving a car and if I see a traffic light is red, I am supposed
Hmm.
to stop the car. If a light is
Hmm.
green, I can drive the car. What it is? It is a
Hmm.
traffic light policy. Traffic policemen cannot be available everywhere, so they have set up this policy. If I don't abide the
Yeah.
policy, I have to pay the penalty. So
Okay.
similarly, how do we achieve compliance? We achieve compliance with the help of policies. Now, how do we apply policies? In on-prem, we have a concept of group policies.
Hmm.
In Azure, we have a concept of Azure policy. So if I only go with public, I can only apply Azure policies. I would not be able to apply group policies.
Hmm. Yeah.
If I only go with private, I can only apply group policies. I cannot apply Azure policies. So basically, when we go with hybrid, we are getting more options. So we can
So
achieve
can't we?
compliance. Yeah,
Sorry, can't we apply the group policies on Azure machines? Like not physical, but on the VMs we own.
we can. We can. So
Okay.
when, okay, see what happens is we'll talk about this point maybe in few minutes from now. See, what you are saying is absolutely correct. Let's say I have deployed an Azure VM,
Hmm.
and maybe in this VM I would like to apply the group policy. I can do
Hmm.
it. But how I would be doing it? Can I do this from the Azure portal? No. You can
Hmm.
apply policy to this Azure VM via Azure console, via Azure portal, only the Azure policies. If you want to apply group policy in this machine, you have to take the RDP of this machine. In that case, we are considering this machine as an IaaS, as an infrastructure as a service, right? And then we can
Okay.
apply the group policies. So now question
Okay.
comes.
Mm-hmm.
So now question comes, see, if we are setting this up as IaaS and if we are applying group policy over here, it
Mm-hmm.
means we will have a private cloud somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Reason, in that particular private cloud, I will have a domain controller. Maybe here
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating second domain controller. I will be replicating my Active Directory over here, and then the
Mm-hmm.
group policies will be applied over here. It means we have private cloud somewhere else as well. Means we are using a hybrid solution. That is the reason we
Okay.
are saying with hybrid we can have better compliance.
Okay.
Right? Alright. Now third is, let's say if in case we are looking for the maximum flexibility. So which cloud do you feel can provide us maximum flexibility?
Yeah. Then it's cloud. We can move as per time, place, count.
Okay. See, again, the answer would be hybrid. Let me give
Okay.
you like one or two examples. See, one example could be, let's say I would like to host two application.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I want for application number one, I want authentication protocol use should be Kerberos. For
Mm-hmm.
application two, for application number two, I want authentication protocol use should be OpenID Connect.
Mm-hmm.
If I only go with cloud, I can only use OpenID Connect as the authentication protocol. If I only go with data center or with private cloud, I can only have Kerberos or NTLM as the authentication protocol. But if I
Okay.
go with hybrid, I can have any authentication protocol. So basically, when we are going with hybrid, we are getting better flexibility.
So if a VM is in cloud,
Mhm.
can we have Kerberos?
Can we have Kerberos? Absolutely, we can have Kerberos.
Like, but you said like on-prem we can do Kerberos, but not the other one, right?
See, it depends what kind of a service you are using. If we have a VM, again, if we have Azure VM, if you want to set up the Kerberos as the authentication protocol, there are two ways.
Mm-hmm.
One method is if you have a Azure VM, then definitely you will have a network as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, within this network, you may have one machine or you may have multiple machines.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, you have to set up the domain controller or the Active Directory environment in your Azure as well. Or you can say in the Azure VM as well.